The northeast of India. Compared to the rest of the subcontinent, these lands remain largely untouched and unexplored, making it one of India's last great wildernesses. Steeped in mystery and ancient tradition. It is a remote and beautiful sanctuary. Towering mountains and deep jungle valleys hold many of this country's most iconic and unique animals. People and nature share the bounty of this rich land. But it is also a fragile environment. The northeast of India, formed from a group of 8 states, it sits along the borders of 5 countries and within an internationally recognized biodiversity hotspot. Yet it is one of the least explored regions in all of India. Dominating the northern border of this region is the world's greatest mountain range, the Himalayas. Containing 9 of the world's 10 highest peaks, and with over 30 mountains rising above 7,000 meters, it is a foreboding realm. Known as the Third Pole, it holds the largest regions of ice and snow after the polar regions. With the coldest predicted temperature at the world's highest summit, Mount Everest, below -40 degrees Celsius. And winds screaming at speeds of over 280 kilometers an hour. The upper altitudes of this mountain range are unimaginably hostile. Conditions are almost as harsh below the snowline. Weathering causes frequent rockfalls and produces unstable scree fields and jagged cliffs. Few can maintain a foothold on these treacherous rock faces. One intrepid mountaineer that calls this unforgiving region home is the Baral. Impeccable balance and agility allow them to move confidently across the vertigo-inducing ridges. These animals are well adapted to their high-altitude lifestyle and the bitter cold. This small herd search the slopes for meager rations, such as lichen and tufts of dry grass. They gain little moisture from this food, so must find half-frozen streams on the mountainside. They have a right to be nervous. They are not alone. Baral are preyed upon by a ghostly, almost mythical predator. The snow leopard. a beautiful but secretive creature. Few will ever glimpse this incredible animal. It is a phantom of these remote ranges. For humans, reaching the peaks of these mountains is the achievement of a lifetime. But some animals regularly cross these towering summits. Bar-headed geese have been recorded at altitudes in excess of 7,000 meters. This flock is migrating south over the Himalayas to winter feeding grounds in northern India. Some animals would struggle to even breathe, as oxygen levels at these altitudes can be less than half those at sea level. Yet a bar-headed goose can fly at up to 80 kilometers an hour and climb at over 1 kilometer an hour. The demands on its body are so extreme, they could easily kill a person. These birds have evolved an incredible physiology that allows them to cope with this punishing journey. Their muscles use oxygen more efficiently than other birds, and their lungs are proportionally much bigger than other ducks, geese, and swans. These traits allow the bar-headed geese to make the most of the limited oxygen available and push their bodies to the limit. Their speed and endurance in extreme conditions allows them to cover incredible distances, up to 1,500 kilometers in a single day, allowing them to conquer the mighty Himalayas in just one flight. As the land falls away from these awesome mountains, diverse regions begin to emerge, thanks to the changes in altitude and climate. Alpine meadows appear above and amongst the forested slopes, and they are occasionally frequented by a surprising visitor. An Asiatic black bear. Her shaggy coat grows especially long around the neck, forming a distinctive ruff. Below this, a white crescent of fur can be found, leading to her common name, moon bear. Although most at home in the forest, she's an opportunist and will travel where there are seasonal gluts of food. In spring, roots, forbs, and grasses are an important part of her diet. She relies on an incredible sense of smell to locate potential meals. She can even sniff out grubs up to 1 meter below the ground, or hiding in rotting logs. Powerful jaws and 5-centimeter claws make short work of any hiding place. But she must make the most of these times of plenty, because during winter, she can be forced to hibernate for up to 4 months of the year. In the moist deciduous forests at lower elevations, most animals are active all year round. Including one of the rarest langur species in India. Named after its gorgeously coloured coat, the golden langur has long been considered sacred by Himalayan peoples. Yet it was only recognised as a distinct species in the 1950s, with much still to be discovered about this beautiful animal. Mainly active in the morning and evening, troops of around a dozen individuals feed in the canopy. Enough food and water can be found up here to mean they rarely need to leave their treetop world. Langurs are one of the few primates to have all but lost their thumbs, one of a number of adaptations to their canopy lifestyle. Quick and agile, they move easily through this environment. Large, powerful legs can propel them between branches, and long padded fingers provide a secure grip, whilst wonderfully elongated tails also help with balance. Life in the troop isn't always peaceful. Eating the tender leaves someone else had their eye on can quickly cause a scuffle. Eventually, the troop settle down to rest and groom. Grooming is key amongst the group, as it keeps members healthy, helps to maintain social bonds, and relieves stress. But they mustn't become too distracted. Predators lie within these forests. A clouded leopard. But this female is also taking it easy in the late afternoon heat, as she is mainly a nocturnal predator. She mostly hunts ground animals, but these langurs must stay alert, as she is also an excellent climber. As evening approaches, she begins to prowl. And the langur troop head to the highest branches to sleep, hoping to avoid her and any other forest predators. The Northeast bursts with such diversity due in part to its geographical position. It sits at the junction of the Indian subcontinent, East Asia, and Indochina. Making it a convergence point for a vast variety of plants and wildlife. Including the red panda, whose western range extends into the northeast of India. This male lives a solitary lifestyle. A lot of his time is spent feeding on bamboo shoots and young leaves. But having evolved from a more carnivorous ancestor, the red panda's simple stomach struggles to break it down, getting only a quarter of the available nutrients. He'll top up this low-energy diet where he can with other foods. But when those are scarce, he could lose up to 15% of his body weight. Although he does forage on the ground, he prefers to be in the trees and is an excellent climber. Mainly nocturnal, he will groom in the early morning before he sleeps. Thick fur helps maintain precious body heat and can even be found on the bottom of his paws, so cleaning is a meticulous process. But a passing female is enough to draw him out of his bedtime routine. Females are only receptive for one 24-hour period every year. So this is an opportunity that must be chased. A rapid descent is no problem when rotatable ankles allow you to clamber down head first. Unfortunately for this male, she is no longer receptive. It could be a very long wait before he gets another chance to start a family. Many species of bamboo thrive in this region, benefiting from the plentiful rainfall. But the northeast is not just one of the wettest regions in India. It also holds some of the wettest places on Earth. Monsoon in Meghalaya state receives around 12 meters of rain each year. Thanks to two great natural wonders. In June, the normal northeasterly winds that blow across India reverse direction. Coming from the southwest, they pass over the Indian Ocean, drawing up moisture. This moisture-laden air moves across India, producing the Indian monsoon. But it would blow straight across this country, if not for the Great Barrier of the Himalayas. Storm clouds are funneled into the northeast, and with nowhere else to go, they are forced to drop their deluge onto the land below. Combined with the subtropical heat and long hours of direct sunlight, these huge volumes of rain allow for some of the most northerly rainforests in the world to blanket this region. Plants grow rapidly in this environment. Something that the Khasi people of Meghalaya have taken advantage of. In their forest home, the many rivers are an important resource, but they can also prove difficult to cross after monsoonal rains. So the Khasi have constructed incredible living bridges. They have learnt to train the roots of certain trees across these rivers. Despite their relatively fast growth, it can still take many years for these roots to reach the opposite bank and form a strong enough structure. Making these bridges is an epic building project for the Khasi people. A large bridge like this can take decades to create and may last for many centuries. The knowledge of their construction and maintenance must be passed down through the generations, as those who began these bridges may need their children to complete them. Diverse regions with perfect growing conditions have led to an abundance of life in the northeast of India. With over half of India's flowering species occurring here, such rich plant life in turn supports a staggering diversity of animals. Including India's largest land animal, the Asian elephant. These giants can grow over 2.5 meters tall and weigh over 5 tons. The oldest female is called the matriarch, and she leads the herd across this land, using decades of personal experience. These massive animals need around 150 kilograms of food every day. They also need around 100 liters to wash this down, so they are never far from water. The river provides a great opportunity to keep cool as well, with their dexterous trunks used as a shower. For this youngster, it's more bath time, as she will take several years to fully master her trunk. This multi-purpose tool contains over 100,000 muscles, making it incredibly powerful. Yet it is also amazingly sensitive. Combining smell and touch, the trunk is used to explore and communicate. Although grasses can make up over 80% of their diet, other foods, such as fruits and leaves, are also needed. So the matriarch moves the herd on. But they are walking into danger. Cultivated land is gradually breaking up and reducing the elephant's habitat. And the hungry herd can't help but take advantage of the goodies within reach. are continually coming across farms like these. Rich pickings for them can be a disaster for villagers. There are only so many times people can put up with this destruction before frustrations boil over. Resulting in many people and elephants dying every year in these conflicts. Luckily, this herd moves off safely into the jungle. As well as the large, iconic animals of India, these forests are also home to many tiny inhabitants. But these weaver ants punch well above their weight. An ant on its own has little effect, even with pincer-like jaws. But when you have 500,000 relatives backing you up, you're suddenly a force to be reckoned with. Scouring their forest territory for prey, this army overpowers the unfortunate and brings them back to the nest to be devoured. The colony can have many nests, and more are constructed as it grows and expands, taking over tree after tree. These ants got their name because of the incredible way they create those nests. First, workers grip leaves with their jaws and feet, pulling them together. This structure, held in place with ant staples, is then woven together using an incredible source of thread. The ants use their own larvae. Carefully held in the ant's jaws, the larvae are gently squeezed to encourage them to produce silk. Normally, ant larvae use this silk to form a cocoon to pupate in. But in weaver ants, it's also used to connect the leaves. Being one of the world's strongest natural materials, it is perfect for holding everything together. It can take less than 24 hours for the ants to construct a nest, and when finished, it provides a refuge from predators and the weather. Rain helps build these forests, but it has also built a world beneath its roots. The constant movement of water through the limestone rock has cut a multitude of subterranean tunnels. Slow drips leave behind tiny portions of limestone, and over hundreds of years, these have created amazing structures. The northeast holds some of the largest cave systems in all of India, with their underground passages stretching over hundreds of kilometers. Many of these caves remain unexplored, and almost every year, expeditions uncover more of this dark realm. But in the jungles beyond, a new day is dawning. And in the early morning light, India's only ape species is on the move. The Hoolock gibbon. Gibbons are the acrobatic daredevils of the primate world. Thanks to long arms and rotatable joints, each swing can transport them 6 meters at speeds of up to 56 kilometers an hour. Their long, strong hands form a natural hook shape, allowing them to grip and hang with ease. Leaps of over 10 meters can be used when branches give way to air. Any misjudgment and they could plummet several stories to the forest floor below. Hulock gibbons live in small groups, formed from an adult pair and their young offspring. Adult males sport a black coat and striking white eyebrows, whereas the females are much paler. Babies are cream-coloured, but their fur will gradually darken with age. Fruits make up the majority of a gibbon's diet, but they will also eat leaves, insects, and flowers. Their territories are small, but often overlap with other groups, so territorial calling is a daily event. And Hulocks are renowned for these unusual sounds. These calls have reverberated for millennia throughout these remote forests and have been imitated by an unexpected mimic. The notorious Naga. Deep in the jungles at the far eastern edges of India, these hill tribes are known for being fearsome warriors and were some of the most unchanged tribal peoples in the whole of India. Their most feared ancient tradition is headhunting. Naga men would gain prestige within their community by killing someone from another tribe and taking their head. The head was seen as the seat of knowledge and the human soul, and was important in many rituals. Thankfully, this is one tradition that has been consigned to the Naga's past. Nowadays, young men can earn status through wrestling matches. Under the watchful gaze of their elders. A safe way to prove oneself or resolve tensions between and within villages. The Naga remain closely associated with the natural world that surrounds them. Many animals are revered, and the Naga's animistic beliefs are conveyed through songs, dancing, and shamanic rituals. These Naga still rely on the forest for food and medicinal plants. As the women of this tribe collect this vital resource, the men set off on a hunt. They use gibbon-like war cries to flush their prey into the open. Where they can be swiftly killed. The tip of this forest pig's ear is left in the jungle as a thanks to their gods. The remoteness of this land, along with the ferocity and independence of its tribal peoples, have kept this region protected for centuries, allowing it to remain a haven for wildlife. Endangered species, such as the Fair's leaf monkey, have survived in the northeast's forests. Living in treetop troops of up to 30, they spend many hours a day feeding on the leaves and fruits they find here. To cope with this diet, they have evolved specialized stomachs, holding friendly bacteria that help break down this hard-to-digest food. Jumping spread-eagled, these monkeys use all 4 limbs to scamper through the trees. Females give birth to just 1 baby at a time. Starting life brightly colored means the troop can easily spot and look after these vulnerable babies. They lose this coloration as they age and become more independent. Play is an important part of growing up. The youngsters use it to explore their world and test out relationships. But the adults are careful to keep a lookout for danger, as this boisterous play can draw unwelcome attention. An Indian python is on the lookout for an easy meal. Growing to over 6 meters, its body is packed with powerful muscles that can squeeze the life out of any monkey unwary enough to drop within its grasp. relies on camouflage and stealth to ambush prey. But its cover is blown, and the troop flees. The python leaves with an empty belly. But it won't take long to find other prey within these rich rainforests. The huge monsoon downpours that allow these forests to thrive also swell the streams and rivers of the northeast. And in some areas, this can create spectacular waterfalls. No more so than in Meghalaya State, where the mighty Nokkalikai Falls drop uninterrupted for over 300 meters, making it the tallest plunge waterfall in all of India. Draining an area of over 500,000 square kilometers, the majority of the northeast's waters flow into one of India's mightiest rivers, the Brahmaputra. It begins its life in Tibet before doubling back and entering this region, flowing for nearly 3,000 kilometers. Glaciers and rainfall erode the mountain slopes, washing sediment down into the Brahmaputra, allowing rich lands to spring up along its banks. In areas of swampy grassland, one of the largest animals in the world can be found: the Indian rhino. Males can weigh over 2,000 kilograms. Once they ranged across northern India, but they are now found in just a few protected areas. A prehensile lip makes their mouths almost as nimble as a hand, and perfect for grasping large tufts of grass or aquatic plants. Rhinos' eyesight is poor, so they often rely on a keen sense of smell. Scent glands on their feet leave a pungent trail wherever they walk. As the hot Indian sun nudges the temperature into the 30s, rhinos seek refuge in the river. Although generally solitary, they will sometimes feed and bathe together. However, tempers can fray when females are on heat, and battles over breeding rights can be bloody. Thick, warty folds around the male's neck offer some protection, but fights like this often lead to death. The reward for the victorious male is the right to mate. In 16 months, the female will give birth to one calf, and it can be 2 to 3 years before she's ready to mate again. Despite their slow breeding rate, India has seen a resurgence in the Indian rhino's numbers, and they have a promising future. But it's a different story for another creature that has relied so much on the Brahmaputra. the gharial. It's thought to have gained its name from the peculiar growth on the male's nose, as gara is the Hindi name for pot. Male gharials grow these as they age. Those with bigger garas being more attractive to females. But the gara isn't just pleasing to the eye, it is also an instrument. Air squeezed through the male's nostrils is amplified by his bulbous snout. It becomes a loud buzzing sound that can be heard up to a kilometer away. When a female selects her mate, they will vanish beneath the surface and lay submerged for up to half an hour. Females lay their eggs in sandy riverbanks. Unlike other large crocodiles, she struggles to walk with her body off the ground, so must belly slide to her chosen spot. She waits for the cover of night to dig her nest, where she will lay up to 50 large eggs. This mother will guard the nest for 2 months, while her eggs incubate in the warm sand. Once hatched and in their new world, young gharials will hunt small invertebrates. But these babies can develop into one of the largest reptiles on the planet. Males can grow up to 6 meters in length, and as they grow, they will move onto bigger prey. But despite its fearsome appearance and size, this does not include humans. Its needle-like teeth and long, narrow jaw are not capable of tackling large mammals like some of its distant relatives. It has evolved to hunt fish. Pits along its scales can pick up the vibrations of passing shoals. And those long, slender jaws can be whipped through the water with little resistance, allowing its needle-like teeth to skewer any fish in their path. The gharial's fishing prowess has brought this ancient species into conflict with the local fishermen. Once 10,000 strong, this wild population is thought to have fallen to only 200 individuals across India. The gharial, once a common sight along the Brahmaputra, may already be extinct in these waters. Caught between massive, snow-capped mountains and the tropical lands of Indochina, the Northeast has become a land of diversity and wonder. Mystery and myth still shroud its remote forests. and offer protection to a myriad of unique and iconic animals. But as the modern world slowly encroaches on this forgotten land, nature is increasingly coming under pressure. For endangered wildlife to survive and flourish, people must protect this fragile wilderness.